Okay. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon. Welcome to tonight's Monday Mindset. It is, of course, your money and mindset mentor, Nikki Sutherland here with another mindset call. Now, tonight's call, guys, is all around goals, okay? Goals, goals, goals. Now, I want you, all right, I know that we've all heard about goals before, right? I don't think anybody on this call has not heard about goals. If you have not heard about goals, I don't know where you've been, but goals seem to be spoken about so much, whether that be relationship goals. Any single people here like having some relationship goals? Married people have relationship goals. How many of you have goals, for your children, goals for your business, goals in the workplace, okay? Goals, goals, goals. If you have heard about setting goals or goals of any level whatsoever, go ahead and just type goals in the chat. And that's going to be the title of our call today, goals, okay? In fact, the first thing I want you to write down on your bit of paper that you have brought along with you is goals are the fuel of motivation, okay? Goals are the fuel of motivation. I want you to write that on your bit of paper. Yes, your girls come back and I'll come back. I'm taking you all to school tonight, okay? We are going to do the work, unless you're driving, that is. All right, I need it for you to get that pen and paper out and write on the top, goals are the fuel of motivation, okay? I'm even gonna write it inside the chat box, so we are all doing this together. Goals are the fuel of motivation, okay? Well, what do you mean by that, Nikki? What do you mean? Okay, how many of us know that in order to achieve any goal, all right, in order to achieve anything in life, we ourselves have to be motivated, yes or yes? If you are not motivated to do something, you just won't get it done. So we need to make sure that we have motivators, whether they're internal or external, that's going to get us to do something that we want to achieve, okay? Not necessarily that we want to do. Guys, I just came back from netball, okay? It was tough, all right? I was sweating. I was all over the court. You know, coach really pushed us today. Did I want to leave my house, my good house, where there is cake left over from the birthday party, there is alcohol left over from the birthday party, my house is nice and cozy, and my husband's here, and we have the gadgets, and we have a nice music, like we have comfort zone up in this house. Did I want to leave my house and go to netball to run around for an hour to sweat? But guess what took me out of the house, guys? Guess what got me out of the house? It was, in fact, the goal that I want to lose this belly. That's the goal. The belly has to go. Someone say goals are the fuel of motivation. It was my goal that motivated me. It's the motivation from me thinking about losing this belly. Does anyone have a health goal on this call? Does anyone have a health goal? Anyone want to lose weight? I don't want to gain weight, okay? You see, me and my husband want the opposite scale of the spectrum. He wants to gain it, I want to lose it. I want mine just cutting a piece off and handing it to him, but it doesn't work like that, okay? Health goals, good, all right? So you're going to have different goals. You're going to have business goals. You're going to have family goals, right? Toning up, I see that. I want to tone up too. I do sometimes feel like, Nikki, you can take the easy way out and just cut it off. But there's something about working for it that's saying to me, no, Nick, you're gonna work this out. You're gonna do that. And guys, I will have my six-pack. You guys know that I have it as a goal. It is the fuel of my motivation. It's everywhere I see my goals. I have to get up, guys. I have to get out. I have to get out, all right? And go and do what I need to do. So goals are the fuel of motivation. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to prove this point right now, okay? Now, I want us to understand this very, very clearly, because I was thinking about this. What pushes me when I've ever succeeded at anything in life? What has been the real deciding factor? And it's always been for me a goal, okay? Because not only do goals ensure clarity regarding the outcome that you want to achieve, but they're important in business to motivate yourself and to motivate those around you. Any parents on the call that set their children a goal, and they get rewarded for something? Anybody have done this? I said to my kid, like, we have this silly thing, last one to the car is a rotten egg. I mean, there's no prize. that rotten egg. No one wants to be there. Goals just get us moving. Any families do that? I see Sabrina, you say, yeah, any families have these little silly goals that maybe you just do religiously within your family to be able to get something done faster than if you didn't have that goal. Okay, so it brings forward clarity. Goals make things happen sooner. When you have a goal, one thing you know is where you're going. Without a goal, you don't know where you're going. You're just aiming at anything. Have you heard the saying that if you focus on everything, you focus on nothing? So a goal is going to give you clarity to what it is that you want to achieve, and it's going to allow you to get there faster. How many of us always want to get somewhere faster? How many of us are impatient sometimes, right? So goals are going to bring forward clarity, guys, okay? Now, very important with goals is you must have non-negotiables. Write that down. Non-negotiables. Now, in order for me to achieve this goal, this is a non-negotiable. So my netball is a non-negotiable, guys. Every single Monday, except for next week, because of course, next Monday, the whole country is closing down. For those of you that are not in the UK, we are indeed in mourning for the Queen. So next Monday, we will not be doing netball, but every Monday, providing it is on, it is a non-negotiable that I must show up and I must put in that hour of work. What are your non-negotiables for your goal? Now, before we do that, guys, I want us to do this exercise. Now, here's what we're going to do. All right. If your name begins with an A down to a K, you're going to take on this exercise first. Okay. So if your name begins with A down to K, go ahead and put your initial inside the chat. You're going to be up first for this game that we are about to play. Now, I'm going to get my phone because I'm going to get a stopwatch for you guys. Okay. If your name begins from A to K, go ahead and just put your initial inside the chat. Excellent. I can see some of you coming through. Now, just for those of you that put your initials in the chat, put a 7 if you indeed have your pen and paper, because you're going to partake inside of this game. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to get my stopwatch and I'm going to give you guys 45 seconds, okay, to fulfill this activity that I'm about to give you guys, okay? Are you guys ready? Let me know you're ready. Put a yes in the chat. A to K, all right? Now, those of you that are L to Z, you will be up next. So it's very important that you are vigilant to what the A to Ks are about to do. Make sense? All right? When I say go, the A to Ks, what you're going to do is you're going to write, I want you to imagine that everything you write on that bit of paper is achieved by the end of this year. Right? So you're going to write down some goals. As many goals as you can think of. Every single thing you write on that paper will be achieved. Let's go. Go now. 45 seconds start now. Every single thing. Anything that you can think of that if just because you wrote it down, it will happen by the end of this year, I want you to write it down. Okay? I want you to write it down. Okay? As many as you can. 20 seconds have passed. You have 25 seconds to go. Okay? As many as you can. Just imagine, just by writing it down. It could be a car, it could be house, it could be children in private school, it could be 10 cars, it could be anything you wrote down, 1 million in the bank. 10 seconds to go. You got this. Come on, keep going. A to K, A to K. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Okay, the A's to K's. Go ahead. I want you to count how many things you just wrote down on that bit of paper. Let's see what we have here. A to K's, write down the number of things that you wrote down on that bit of paper. Okay? Let's see what we got here. So 6, Mr. Gary Dixon. 4, 11, Charmaine. 5, 6, 4. Let's see what we got here. Anybody else? A's to K's. Count them up. Type in the chat. How many did you do? How many did you do? 6, 3, 1. Okay. Right now, For those of you that are L to Z, go ahead and put your initial in the chat. I want to see how many people we have. L to Z, put your initial in the chat. You are up next. So Charmaine is the winner for that one. She got 11 written down in the 45 seconds. Now, here's the thing to you guys that are now L to Z is you now have a goal. You now know what the target is. You now know exactly what Charmaine got as the highest over there. And so you know that the target is 11 to beat in order to win this particular competition. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds starts now. Go ahead and write those goals down. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Go ahead. We have 35 seconds to go. Okay, 35 seconds to go. Let's get this goal done. 20 seconds gone. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All the goals that you could imagine, if just by writing it down, you can achieve it. We are now at 35 seconds, 10 seconds to go, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, pens down. Now, all of the L's down to Z, go ahead and type in the chat, how many were you able to do? Go ahead and count them up. All the goals that you were able to write down. All right, go ahead and count them up. T got 11, Tracy got 11. Okay, we got 3, 8, 10. All right. Now take a look at the second set compared to the first set, guys. Who had the most written down? Was it A's to K or was it L to Z? Which one of those had the highest numbers? I'm seeing 10, 10, 8. L to Z were the ones that had the most results. Why? Because there was a goal. It fuels your motivation. It pushes you to do more. And so when we understand that goals fuel motivation, we need to understand that if we fail to have goals, that's why we fail to motivate ourselves. That's why we fail to get things done faster than if we did have a goal. Now, what I want you all to do right now is have a look at those goals that you have written down. And I want you to narrow those goals down to one. If you could pick one of those goals, only one, which one would you pick? And I want you to circle that goal on your bit of paper. Once you've done that, go ahead and put a 7 in the chat box. Okay? I want you to circle that goal on your bit of paper. Right? Now we're going to get granular with this. Now we're really going to get focused with this thing. All right? Now you've got that goal written down on your piece of paper. You're seeing it right now. You're looking at that goal. I want you even to say it to yourself, right? I am so happy and grateful now that and then read out that goal to yourself. I don't want you to tell anybody on this call. Sometimes, guys, it's better to keep your goals to yourself. I'm just being honest. Sometimes the moment you share your goals with people that may not be qualified to hear the anointing that is over your life, it can disturb, what it is that you need to do. So I want you to say your goals to yourself right now, guys. I'm so happy and grateful now. Say it as if it's already done, okay? You don't need anybody's permission here on earth. Nobody's permission here on earth for you to achieve that goal that you've written down. Because you've written it down, it is done. Someone write done in the chat if you receive that goal is done. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be done without work. It doesn't mean that it's going to be done without putting in some effort. But I want you to understand that whatever you speak, whatever you write down, whatever you are hearing, let's bring this back, guys. Because once you set a goal, do you understand that there is no one that can stop that goal from happening other than you? It doesn't matter what your bank account says right now. It doesn't matter what your relationship status is right now. It doesn't matter what anybody says right now. The only person that can stop that goal from happening is you. I want you to write down in the chat box right now, it's all on me. Because sometimes what we do, ladies and gents, is we blame other people and other factors why we don't achieve our goals. And I want to let you know that it is all on you. My goals are all on me. I can't blame anybody for where I'm at. I can't blame anybody for what I'm not or what I'm doing. I have to say to myself, it's all on me. It's all on me, guys. It's all on me. And so you have the choice of what to do. So here's what I want you to do. And I don't want you to rush this now, but I want you to think of 2 things that you can do towards that goal that you've written down. What are 2 things that you can do every single day without extra resources, without anybody else's permission or support, without you having to quit your job or quit what you're, what you're currently doing? What 2 things can you do to help you get closer to that goal that you've just written down? And I want you to write those things down on your piece of paper. I must, starting with, I must XYZ. I must XYZ. These are your 2 things every single day that you can do. No extra resources required. Nobody's permission required. No one's support required. You don't need a babysitter for this. You don't need somebody's money for this. You don't need someone to pick you up for this. What 2 things can you personally do that's going to enable you to get closer to that goal? And I want you to break it down that little bit more. How much time do you need to spend on it each day? Write a time on it. Is it 30 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day? What time are you going to do? Is it first thing in the morning? Is it 10 a.m., 3 p.m.? I want you to write it down on that piece of paper. Now, once you've written it down, guys, if there is anybody on this call that is willing to share, then please go ahead and raise your hand, right? I'm happy for you if you want to keep it private, but if there's anyone that feels like they, because sometimes when you speak out loud, you have that accountability, and we're going to get onto accountability in a moment. But if there's anybody that says, hey, I want to be accountable for just this one thing, I'm going to say it out loud. Or you may have an accountability partner. Text it to them. Tell your accountability partner what it is. There we go, Naz. Naz says, watch personal development videos every single day. 15 minutes minimum. Now, Naz, the question I want to ask you is, does that require anybody else's permission? Do you need anybody else to come round to your house? Do you need anybody else's support for you to be able to watch those personal videos every single day? So you can't blame anyone. And Naz says, hell no, Nikki, it's something I can do by myself. Now, Naz, here's the thing, all right? This is a goal that you now declared to everybody on this call and anyone watching it back on the replay, that you are going to every single day watch at least 15 minutes of personal development. Now, what time are you going to do that, Naz? Tell me a time right now. Now, sometimes it may not be possible at that time. You may do earlier, may do later, but let's have a commitment every morning. What time every morning? Whenever I wake up, I'm going to do that, Naz says. Anytime Naz wakes up, Naz is going to watch that personal development video. Now, is it going to cost you any more money to do that, Naz? Do you need to get money from anybody? Do you need anybody's transport? Do you need a babysitter for that? Like, what are the possible things that could get in your way of you completing this goal, Naz? What's going to be the downfall? What's going to stop you or block you? What potentially could get in your way? I mean, if somebody stole your phone and all your devices, that could get in your way, right? What are the things? Let's think about my own lack of commitment, okay? So we want to make sure that we are going against your own lack of commitment. So how can we do that? Accountability. Set an alarm on your phone, Naz. 11 a.m., 10 a.m., 9 a.m., 7 a.m. to go off on your phone to say, personal development video. That's an accountability tactic for you. Text a friend. One of the things I did with my accountability partner a couple of months ago is we decided to do devotional every day for 2 weeks together to get our spirits right, to get ourselves into momentum. And since we did that 2 weeks of devotionals together, I've been doing devotion every single day after. It was just the kickstart that I needed, right? So maybe you have an accountability partner. Maybe you have somebody, Naz says, I'll have my husband as accountability partner. Boom, there you go. So you don't tell your husband, if your husband's anything like mine, if I say something to my husband, he's definitely going to remind me, all right? So we've got a clear-cut example there. Clear-cut example. There is nothing. Are we all in agreement? Put 777 in the chat. If we are all in agreement that there's nothing that can stop Naz from watching those personal development videos except herself, right? And we're all going to be behind you for that. We've all just come into agreement, okay? I know the word says that when two or more, right? Two or more agree. So we've just agreed now that those personal development videos are going to be watched 15 minutes every single day. Now, can you do that for two of your goals? Break down your goal into smaller goals, bite-sized chunks of things that you can do to be able to achieve that goal. You see, a lack of consistency is one of the biggest reasons why people don't achieve goals. You know, some people don't have any goals. Some people live their life by a monotonous routine, round and round in a circle. We're behind you, Naz. Yeah, you got this. You know what? In order to get something different, guys, we know the definition of insanity. It's impossible to see a new breakthrough. Now, here's what I believe. I believe that everybody on this call right now may feel a little bit of frustration, may feel a little bit of momentum, or may feel a little bit like, yo, I need a big push now. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because when you hit a lid, how many of you feel like you've hit a lid? When you hit the height and you've hit a lid, it needs something extra now to break through that ceiling. You're going to feel uncomfortable in this season. How many of you have ever been at the top of your game? Maybe you're the oldest in the family. Maybe you're the one that's always holding the fort. Maybe you're the strategic thinker. Maybe you're the one that's always moving and shaking. Maybe you're the generational curse breaker in your family. You've always been the one they lean on. You've always been the one the best friend calls. You're always that one that is fighting for everybody else. Put a 777 in the chat if that is you. You're always the creator. You're always the big thinker. You're always the one that everyone is pulling left, right, and center. You're the support system. You're the bank. You're the one that's thinking about the next move. You're thinking about the next 5 moves. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe you're married, but you're still supporting. Maybe you're in a situation where you're like, yo, I've just hit the lid. I've got to the point where I'm doing so much that I'm in a routine and I didn't even know it. I saw something on Instagram where it said there's 2 types of prison, one where you're behind bars and one where you don't even know that you're in prison. Now, the second one's the worst one, where you're going round and round and round, and it's another Monday, another Monday, another Monday, another Monday. And before you know it, this is why mindset's so important, ladies and gentlemen. This is why it's so important to pour into your mind, because before you know it, do you know that it's almost December? Do you know that there are some people that have not and will not see December, see 2022 out? See 2023. There are some people that are looking at you right now, wishing they had the life that you live. The same life that you're at the ceiling saying, oh God, I need a breakthrough. I mean, just let's be real on this call. Put a B in the chat if you feel like you need a breakthrough. Doesn't matter where, business, family, financially, health-wise, wherever. Put a B in the chat if you're like, Nikki, I'm at the lid. I'm at the lid. I feel like I need to push through the ceiling. I need to break through the ceiling. I'm at the lid. I'm at the lid. I'm at the lid. You're talking to me right now, Nikki. So you're going to feel uncomfortable in this season. Your goals are getting bigger. Like I sat down to my husband. I said, look, 100,000 a month. That's my minimum goal. And I'm like, I'm having sleepless nights over this 100,000 a month. I'm like, yo, 100,000 a month, 100,000 a month. That's all I see. It's everywhere. I've got it written down. I see it every single day. 100,000 a month. I've got it on my toilet. I've got it in my shower. I've got it in my kitchen, in my car. And I'm having sleep. I'm waking up in the morning, 100,000 a month, 100,000 a month. And all I can see is 100,000 a month, 100,000 a month. And my husband was looking at me like, do you know you're living in last year's prayers? Because last year, you weren't saying 100,000 a month. 5 years ago, you weren't saying 100,000 a month. You now have big people problems. You now got big people goals. I'm going to say the same thing to you. Your goals have elevated. That's why you feel uncomfortable. That's why you feel uncomfortable right now, because what your goal was 5 years ago isn't that anymore. You know why? Because you've grown. And when you grow, your goals grow. That's why you got to make sure that you pick the right spouse. That's why you got to make sure that you're around the right person, because when you don't want to outgrow them. You don't want to grow to the point where they're still judging you by your 10,000 a month, when right now you're focused on 100,000 a month, 1 million a month. You want to make sure that the person that you're going with, you're growing with. Does anyone understand what I'm talking about? I remember when I was in previous relationships, I'm growing and we're still talking about the old goals. I mean, we gone past those old goals, guys. We're not on those old goals no more. That's why if you don't know me today, you don't know me, because I'm growing every day. Naz, I'm on my personal development every day. I read every single day. I take notes every single day. If you spoke to me yesterday, I got new value to give you today, because you didn't speak to me this morning after I read what I read, where I'm growing my knowledge every single day. So I have to grow with someone. I'm not going to go with someone if I can't grow with someone. And some of you are going to feel uncomfortable inside your relationships, and we're going to have to pray over some relationships, because I'm telling you right now that if you're focused on that personal development, it's going to be uncomfortable even in your household, because you're going to start speaking a little way different. You're going to start saying, I got to protect my air gates. I don't speak like that. Those words don't come out my mouth no more. You're going to start saying things like 100,000 a month, and your spouse is going to look at you like, what, say what now? You're that guy now. You're that girl now. Yeah. Because I'm focused on my personal development. I tell you this, guys, if you don't focus on your personal development in this season, it could be detrimental to all areas. This is a warning, because mental health is a big thing. And a lot of people, especially in the industry of network marketing, especially in the industry of sales, in business, in entrepreneurship, there's a lot of people that teach personal development. Don't let me go there. There's a lot of people that are teaching personal development, but they ain't personally developing. And so we're seeing suicide. We're seeing mental breakdowns. We're seeing health problems, mental health problems. And I'm just saying that this is a season where we have to be extra intentional, because nobody, me included, is just obsolete from this attack. It could come left, right. And if you're not prepared for it, I had an attack a couple of weeks ago, but I read something and I was like, oh, I'm prepared for this one. Oh, Hercules, yes. I was ready for it. I was like, I read that. I was already warned that that was going to happen. I was so good about it. I bounced back. How many of you are bouncing back on things that should have broken you? Or you're bouncing back on things that should have tore you apart? That in the last season, you would have been wrecked, but this season you're running around saying, glory, because God is going to remove things from your life that shouldn't be there, because it's going to hold you back from your goals. It's going to stop you from getting to that 100,000 a month. It's going to stop you from achieving that thing. Has any of you ever been around a friend or around a certain person, and every time you're having arguments with your spouse, or every time your kids are playing up, or every time something is happening, and when you remove that individual, things just seem to go better, because your mindset, who you're listening to, is going to pave the way for the mood that you currently have. So if you're speaking to people that are in agreement with cheating, that are in agreement with messing about, that are in agreement with not going for your goals, that are in agreement with you going to the club, if you're in alignment with those types of things, you're not going to be held accountable to focus on your goals. And so here's how we're going to do this, guys. This is just part one. Part two will be next week, same time. And what I want you to do, ladies and gents, I want you to take your goals seriously. I'm going to give you some homework, because I know we went through it quite quickly. Here's homework number 1. I want you to list out your goals again. I want you to pick out that one goal that you want to achieve. I don't want you to think, is it possible? It is possible. The moment you write it down, it's done. And then I want you to break down all the things that you need to do in order to get that goal done. Maybe it's research. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's a meeting. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's some, looking out on YouTube for some kind of investigation. I don't know. Whatever it is that you need to do in this season to get that goal done, I want you to list it out. As many things as you can think of. And then what I want you to do is I want you to pick 5 things that you're going to do religiously to get that goal achieved. So you're going to break it down, make it granular. Set alarms on your phone. Give yourself accountability. Make sure that you begin to be that consistent person that you know that you're going to be proud of. The worst thing, you know why sometimes you feel bothered as well? Because you're disappointing yourself. It's not even about the haters. It's not even about anybody else. It's that you know deep within that you're better than this. You know that deep within that you've been called for greater. That's why you're uncomfortable. If you were comfortable with where you were, you would stop growing. But you know, how many of you look in the mirror and know I'm better than where I'm at? I know this is not all that I've been put on this earth for. I know that there's a bigger goal for my life. I know that there's something greater on the inside of me. I know that there's more. Type more in the chat. And so if you know that there's more, you know that you got to find it. But I'm telling you the truth. It's not just going to fly into your lap. You have to put the work in. You got to be consistent. It is right now, G-O-D, goals over distractions. This is very, very important. You can't have both. You have goals or distractions. Let me teach you this. I'm going to teach you this real quick. When you enter into a conversation, when you're about to start writing, when you're about to start posting, when you're about to do anything, ask yourself, is this going to help me with my goal or is this a distraction? Anytime I'm on a conversation, is this goals or like those, even those close to me? We're going to have a conversation, but at some point my mind's thinking, is this goals or, and we're going to cut that real quick. I don't tarry. Goals or distractions. You get to decide. Let's remind you, goals are the fuel of motivation. So if you want to stay motivated towards your goal, you have to make sure you follow the goal in itself. You have a strict, you're not going to do your goals all day. That would be impossible. We're going to pick 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. And you're going to focus solely on your goals. No distractions. Maybe it's when you're in the bath. That's when I get peace. Maybe it's when the kids are in bed. I see you, Sabrina. Sabrina's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Most people have a bath every day or a shower every day, whatever. Right? I should hope so. Right? I don't brush my teeth before I've done my devotion. It's like, it's a routine now. Right? So you got to be disciplined. This is the season of discipline, Wendy. This is the season for you to now say to yourself, none of these distractions, I'm going to focus on my goals. Next week on part 2, we're going to go deeper. This is just the first part. This is the homework. I want you all to go start, and it starts now. You can get into it now. It will take sacrifice, guys. We haven't spoken about sacrifice yet. That'll be next week. It will take shedding. That's biblical. We got to shed daily. It will take doing things out of our comfort zone. It will take stopping doing things that are not productive. It will take, getting ourselves connecting with the right individuals. These are the things that it's going to take. So as I close out this call, I just want to ask you one question. Is it goals or distractions? You decide. You decide right now. Go ahead and type in the chat. It's one or the other. Goals or distractions. Need to remind you who you are. I need to remind you that you've been called for greatness. There is no one, 7.7 billion people in the world. There is no one like you. Only you have been put on this earth to do what you've been called to do. And so remember who you are. Remember what you've been through. Remember what you've overcome. Remember that you have achieved 100% success rate in survival of life because you are still here. So he's not finished with you yet. Goals or distractions every single time. And I promise you, you're going to stay on track, guys. So I'm going to see you next week. Those of you on social media, go ahead and do me a little boomerang. Put your top quote of today's call. That would be great. So I know that you've been on. If you're watching it on the replay, go ahead and just, hit me up. Let me know that you have enjoyed this session. And I can't wait to see you on next week's session, guys, for part 2 of Goals Are the Fuel of Motivation. Okay, very, very important.